ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing.
Maybe. Sometimes.
Tell me about this. I want to know more.
Oh, yeah. No.
Holy cow.
We've had a lot of fun.
So, I hear you guys got together like in the real world and had fun without me.
Yes.
Very nice. How did that come about? I see the picture on Facebook one morning. Fine.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry we didn't invite you. Well, you were invited, but...
Yes, you were invited if you happen to be in Southern California.
Oh, fine.
Yes, we met up in real life. Can you believe it?
Wow, that's exciting.
I know.
Something I have yet to do with you, Nicole.
Seriously, like you're the person I've been speaking to the longest.
That's right.
And yet, I still have not seen you in real life. Although, so it was fun to see Catherine, though.
Yeah.
We even went and had Mexican food, which, as you know, is not my favorite, but it was good. Wasn't it?
And Nicole ate a salad.
I did.
Wow.
I shocked Catherine.
A special occasion. Was it like a salad that was mostly cheese and sour cream and guacamole? Well, actually, guacamole wouldn't be your thing, would it?
It had avocados in it.
Did it?
Didn't it?
But didn't you notice I didn't eat the avocado?
As I say, did you pick around and just eat the cheese and sour cream?
I picked around it.
And ground beef?
There was lettuce in it, though, for sure.
There definitely was.
But she also she asked for extra dressing to mask the taste of the vegetables.
I did. I was trying, okay?
Yes.
I was under
It was
pressure.
impressive.
Yeah, I went down. Catherine was at Disneyland with her family this
Nice.
past weekend, so it's only an hour from my place. So I went down and we met and had an early dinner before the crowds got in, and it was weird because Peter's like, "Well, what are you going to talk about? You talk to her every week."
We figured it out.
We managed, and then I got to meet her daughter after too, who we talk a lot about on the podcast. Good things, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Nice.
She got to witness, what happens when you're in a store with my daughter.
Very similar to, yes, having my daughter around. Same experience. It was, I want this, but this would look good. Oh, but I really like that. What do you think, Mom?
And here's why I need this.
Yes, of course.
Very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah, I've met Amanda now.
Right.
Who used to be our podcast.
Yes.
You've met Rob and Skylar.
That's right.
I've met Tori Dunlap, although you haven't had much. I don't
No.
know if you've spoken to her, Catherine.
Not on this podcast.
Not on this one.
Not me.
So,
Sigh.
well, Terri, you're just going to have to come to Southern California.
No, been there. Too
Been there,
complicated.
done that.
I don't
All
know, but I
right.
was a little
I might have to make a
confused
trip.
when I saw your post on Facebook, and I saw it had been like posted. It said it was said like 8 hours ago, and I was thinking they got together in the middle of the night. How is that possible? It looks sunny there. What were they doing? Like at Disney? And then I realized, of course, that was when it was posted, not when it was taken. So,
Not when this actually happened, yes.
but
That's right.
I think Downtown Disney was after my time. Is that like Universal City Walk, only in Disneyland?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like shops and restaurants, and it's, outside the border of Disneyland, so you don't have to have a ticket to get in.
Yeah.
Although you have to be basically frisked and,
Yeah, it's
display
like
all the contents of your bag.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you're taking in anything personal, don't. They do go through your bag.
Wow.
It's like airport security.
Huh.
Yeah, which is kind of okay. I mean, it kind of feels sort of safe. It's a false sense of security.
That's right. How long?
No, it was great. I'm glad we had that opportunity because it was.
Yeah,
It was really fun, and the whole trip was fun. We went because we went to this concert at the Hollywood Bowl, which was really fun, and it was Beauty and the Beast, and they had musicians and a bunch of actors that came and sang songs, and they also played the animated movie, and then they had like the live people singing, so like I didn't really know what to expect, because I knew there were going to be these various actors and actresses there performing, but I didn't know if they were going to show the movie or how that was going to work. But they did show the movie, and they basically like turned the sound off when it was a song, and then they switched to having the people on stage do the song.
That's kind of different. So drop some names. Who was there?
So Zooey Deschanel was Belle.
Oh, wow.
And Taye Diggs was Gaston.
Oh, okay.
Rebel Wilson was LeFou, which is Gaston's little sidekick.
That's awesome.
And my daughter was very excited to see Rebel Wilson.
Fun.
I have pictures of all this, but my phone ate them, so I actually don't have pictures. So that's a bummer.
It's probably some sort of security thing, to like block.
Yeah. But it was really neat because they had, there's sort of this arch that goes in front of the stage, forming the edge of the bowl, I guess. Right. Of the like band shell. And it's like this, 3-foot wide arch that goes across. And so they had special graphics that went on the arch. Oh. That went along with the animated movie. So it was very cool the way they...
And they got to sit in the expensive seats, too.
Whoa.
They did.
They got their own little box seat.
Fancy.
Yes.
How did this all come about?
Through my husband's work.
Nice.
So we were very lucky to get to go and see it. And
I think you started to say Kelsey Grammer. Was he the father?
Yeah. He was the... Candlestick, Lumiere.
Oh,
so be our guest. He's the one who kind of leads that off. And then Jane Krakowski was the teapot. She's also like featured in that song. And Anthony Evans, who I didn't know a whole lot about, but he was amazing. He played the Beast.
Oh,
and he has an incredible voice. So. He was like the best singer of all of them. So, yeah, it was a very, very cool experience, but not as cool as getting to see Nicole.
Well, that's true.
That was the highlight of the trip, I'm sure.
Who's ranking them?
No, it was great. Thank you for setting aside time.
That was so cool. Are you ever going to come out eastward, Nicole?
Actually, okay, well, I will probably be in Boston this summer. Is that
yes. All right. Boston is close enough that I can come meet you. We'll have to work something out. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay,
We need to contrive a reason for Catherine to come out.
Yes. There has to be some sort of work-related thing that your husband can do. Or
in Boston.
Your daughter, doesn't she want to look at a school there?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
We get her out there.
She wants to go to school, and at the moment, she wants to go to school in New York City. But
right. It was New York, right.
Come out to New York, and then we'll drive up to Boston.
Yeah, do a side trip to Boston.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'll probably be there over the summer. So it could happen, Terri. This could work.
Parenting Roundabout Summit 2.0. Well, I guess 1.0 is when Catherine, you and me and Amanda got together and we glued Nicole's head in the corner of the photo.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
so
yours
Terri
was
did the
2.0. This will be 3.0.
Facebook.
Yes. We'll have to share that photo. I pasted myself in as though I were sitting on the ground in front of them. Couldn't even save me a seat, even after I'd flown all the way out there, but that's good. Well, I'm jealous. That sounded like a lot of fun.
It was great. Happy to have that experience, and we'll look forward to meeting you soon as well.
Yes, I shall cling to our weekly phone calls.
Well, shall I start us off then?
Yes, I guess so.
Okay. All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Parenting Roundabout, a weekly podcast about the things that parents are talking about, obsessing about, and complaining about right now. I'm Catherine Haleko, no longer in California. And also here are Terri Morrow.
Hello, still here in New Jersey, where I never leave.
And Nicole Eridix.
Yep, same place, California. Nothing's changed.
So today on the podcast, we're going to reminisce about leaving home, as in the time when Terri used to live in California and departed.
Yeah.
And that's going to be on our speed round. We'll shout out some stuff we like on the Roundabout Roundup and do some shameless self-promotion. But first, privacy is a hot topic these days, at least according to my email box, which is
really
daily giving me updates on privacy.
Oh yes, every company you've ever signed up for as much as a newsletter or an update is sending you those things
that you've forgotten about.
Yes,
from 10 years ago.
It's helpful in that way because it helps you weed out your associations, right? Oh my gosh, was I ever involved with this? Unsubscribe. But that's not quite what the angle we're taking today. So Terri, explain. Although probably if my kids knew there was some administrative recourse, they would be protesting to whatever body is legislating privacy these days. But I've recently turned over sort of a new household leaf here at our house, which is not yet beloved by the children, the young adults, I should say. It came to my attention that my son spends a great deal of his time in his room with his door closed. I don't really think he's doing anything bad in there, but at the same time, he's in his room with his door closed for hours and hours and hours, and I like to see his face. So, I have recently instituted an instruction that he's got to keep the door open, and he does not much care for that, and he keeps forgetting, and I keep reminding him by opening the door. My daughter spends a lot of time in her room also, but she always has the door open. And, I kind of like to be able to, even if it's annoying sometimes, to hear what they're listening to and to be able to have them know that at any time I can pop my head in. So we're trying that, and I'm also trying to do more family-type activities and, make... my son usually eats very quickly and then leaves the table at dinner and goes back in his room and closes the door. Now he has to sit at the table the whole time. And I feel very good about this. I think it's a good and healthy thing. However, privacy-wise, part of me wonders, should he be able to be in his room with his door closed sometimes? Don't we all deserve to be in our room with our door closed sometimes? Do parents ever get the opportunity to do that? I'm not sure. But I thought I would ask you guys. Now, my kids are young adults. My son is 25, so in a way, one might feel he should be able to do whatever he wants to do. But at the same time, there's some developmental issues. And also, you know what? When we're all living in the same house... Right. As we discussed with your son, Nicole, sometimes when the kids are still living at home as young adults, you get to make the rules, and it's fun, and why not? Who wouldn't want to do that? So I thought I'd talk to you guys about what are the privacy rules in your home. Do you allow kids to have unlimited alone time? Do you legislate that at all? Do you put, hidden cameras in the room so that you can monitor what they're doing when they're in there?
Nanny cam.
Exactly. The thought has occurred to me more than once, to be honest. So am I doing a terrible thing here by telling a 25-year-old young man that he can't have his door closed for 7 hours a day and be in there? He does productive things. He works volunteers at a food pantry, and he works on the weekends, but he is, at this point, as we've discussed in many past podcasts, underemployed, and so in the meantime, he has a lot of room time. So, Catherine, your kids are younger than mine, but do they expect to have unlimited periods of privacy, and do you agree with that, or laugh heartily and open the door?
Well, my older one is 16 and definitely spends a lot of time in her room.
Yeah.
And, it's a combination of homework and Netflix and, FaceTiming her friends or whatever. But the one good thing about our old house is that you can hear everything. Yeah. There's not a lot of privacy in here because you can just hear things through the walls and the floors and the vents. And so, I don't really mind, her being in there. I feel like I did that a lot as a kid too, as a teenager. I still, as a adult person, crave alone time that I don't really get very much of, except during the day when I'm supposed to be working. So I haven't really put a lot of rules and limits on her, mostly because she's just, it's working, she's getting done what she needs to do. And when it's time to eat or do something else with her for the family, she's cheerful about it. So, haven't felt the need to create rules about it just yet. My younger one is 13, and at the time when we were moving all the furniture out of his room because we took out the carpet, he moved his computer down into the basement. And it has stayed down there, which has turned out to be kind of a good thing because it's a little bit closer to the common areas of the house than his room is. So he tends to kind of hole up down there. And then I, wander through from time to time, like, oh, I need something from the fridge that's down here, or I'm going to go on the treadmill or whatever. Yeah. So there's more occasions to kind of just check in, like you said. And with both of them, they just have so much time when they're not at home that when they are home, I'm pretty laid back about what they do. Yeah. But of course, the summer is coming. And especially for my son, it could be just screen time till the cows come home. So he's going to have some, as we talked about, his points earning chart has incentives on it for for non-screen, non-alone bedroom or basement things. So I think that's the plan. We'll see how that goes.
I think when they were in school it was different, but now it's just there's oftentimes so many hours of a day when there's just sort of this unsupervised hidden away behind a door time that I've become uncomfortable with. But we'll see how long I enforce it. But Nicole, how, especially now that you have an adult moving back in, how do you feel about that stuff? Do you expect to have anything to say? And what do you think about your daughter with that?
Well, it's funny because my son has always been far more interactive with us than my daughter. and nothing's changed. So, since he's been home, he does spend time in his room, and he kind of we're still trying to sort out, what is courtesy in terms of communication, and what is giving him his space. And so, but to backtrack, he generally doesn't need coaxing out of his bedroom, or he doesn't need any kind of enforcement, rules of enforcement, because he's always been quite chatty and interactive with us, and it seems like that hasn't changed, and he's spent a lot of time with us since he's been home. My daughter, on the other hand, if she could go and lie in her bed 24 hours a day, she would.
As long as she had her phone with her.
As long as she has her phone, and access to Netflix and social media. She's the one that I need to be really on top of in terms of making sure she interacts with the family, because, she can just slide on out of the room and you don't see her. And it's funny because I remember when my kids were born, my neighbor said to me, don't let them ever have a TV in their room because you'll never see them. Right? And I was like, okay, so adamant all these years about them not having TVs in their room, but now they have their phones, so
that's true.
Kind of defeated the purpose. So she's really hard to pull out and to get her engaged with the family. And I feel like, I don't know, I cleaned out one of my drawers yesterday in my kitchen and I found these stack of playing cards, and I'm thinking maybe I could get her to the table with a game of cards or something. I don't know. I doubt it, but I'm trying to think of ways that we can be more to communicate more as a family, as opposed to just demanding that she come sit down with us.
I'm trying to legislate a family game night. We'll see how that goes. First day I don't want to do it. That's when it's gonna die.
Exactly.
First day you're like, I think I need to watch some TV for the podcast.
And it's so sad because that's the thing, right? Like you would rather not play cards either. It's kind of like you're forcing yourself to do something.
I used to play Uno with my son all the time, and then I think I got busy doing stuff, and so I kept putting him off, and then he got into a phase where he wouldn't let me play with him. He would sit there playing by himself. No, that's okay. I don't need it. And then I feel terrible. So I'm trying to kind of get back into that, even though it's going to be hard. But, we need some family interaction, I think. Mm-hmm. I don't like the, just being... everybody being solitary doing their own thing. And then we just, we do have dinner together every night, but, people kind of flee the table when they're done. And so it doesn't feel like, that we're all having a conversation together. So I'm going to work on that, but it's hard.
It is
hard.
It's hard because we're humans too, and you set off with the best of intentions, but then one day you're tired or you're busy or something's going on, and then you feel like a hypocrite. So everybody else has to do when I want to, but if I don't want to, nobody can make me do it.
Right.
And and it's very hard if everyone is not into it.
Yes.
Like you said, it's hard to force it on people.
Yes, I made my husband abandon a baseball game to play bingo with us last night, and he was polite about it, but...
Did he leave it on in the background?
He kept complaining every time my son took too long to call the number. Call the number! Come on! Let's get through this!
Let's hurry up and get through this. Isn't that the truth? Because every time we try a family game, it's like, okay, it's like a, it's like a chore.
That's right.
quickly, go, hurry, Kristen. It is. Decide.
And I hate that. I want to feel like we're doing this stuff.
I know.
And of course, another aspect of privacy with young adults and teens is how much of a right do you feel you have to see what they're doing on their phones? Do you ever, do you have their passwords? Do you ever check? I've recently made it clear once again that if I'm paying the phone bill, you have to give me your password, and I have to be able to look at your phone at any time.
Yeah. Not my son, but he's not lived at home for 2.5 years, so I really haven't had any say over that. But my daughter, she's pretty open. Like she doesn't seem
you to. You gave me an example. When I saw
That's right, I didn't I? Yeah. She doesn't have.
Basically, she doesn't have any qualms about sharing.
Excellent.
No.
Well, that's what you
whatsoever.
Want. And I mean, I'm sure everything's okay and that there's nothing I need to know about, but, you always have these doubts in the back of your mind, or in my case, my kids feel that maybe somebody is doing something and they don't realize it, or, what if somebody's taking advantage of them, or what if they're communicating with somebody I don't know? What if they're downloading something and they don't realize it's wrong? I don't know. Plus, that's one thing. And the other thing is, if they know I can look at it at any time, perhaps it will reduce their...
You pretty much don't have
to do something dangerous.
Right? Yeah. But I started seeing all these alarming, articles and Facebook posts about Snapchat after dark and how awful it was. And so I asked both my kids, I'm like, what is this Snapchat After Dark thing? And they both looked at me like I was completely crazy. They'd never heard of it. They did not know anything about it. And now they do.
I'll check that out, Mom. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, I was like, great. That worked out real well for me.
Talk about backfiring.
Yeah. But especially when they spend so much alone time with just that device.
Yes.
You know, what are they doing for hours and hours and hours?
I used to spend hours talking on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know that there's so much more that you could get into on smartphone, but I think about, like, in terms of time being away from the family. Well, I used to spend hours in my room talking on the phone.
Yeah.
With my friends. I don't know if it's, at least this way, even if my kids are in their room and we're downstairs, we still text each other.
That's true. Yes.
We still text from, like, the other room. So there is still some communication going on. Let's just count our blessings here.
You need to do like a character did on Trophy Wife and, like, invent a teenage persona for yourself that's in your child's social network so that you can monitor everything going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Diane has shown that only she has the power to pull off something
That's
like
true.
that.
That's true. If she weren't making a good living as a doctor, she could go into business with that. Mm-hmm. We'll spy on your child by pretending to be a teenager.
In.
Yes.
Provide you with documented updates on what's happening.
I don't know. I just feel like we're entering a whole other zone in our house. So it'll be, stay tuned. Things could change in an instant, but.
Yeah, I remember as we transition into our next topic here, I remember when I moved home after being away, all these issues. I had a TV in my room, which I'd never been allowed as a kid. But I was moving back from an apartment, so I had a TV, and there was a big deal. My father expected me to come out and watch TV, the family, and I'm like, I don't want to watch what he's watching. I want to watch what I want to watch. And it was a huge thing, which probably contributed in part to me moving right back out again.
Didn't stick around for long, did you?
Not too long.
Yeah. No, well, it was a good transition because as we talk about kids coming and going, various stages of their life, more coming as opposed to going.
Right.
Yeah, let's talk about you. How old you were when you left home, and did you return? Because as our listeners may recall, I have a son who's finishing off college in 2 weeks, and he is moving back home. He actually has moved back home. He moved in the last of his stuff. We have acquired a huge fish tank with a bunch of fish. We've got 2 cats that are joining the family.
2 cats?
Yes, so now we're up to 2.
2 cats plus fish? Yikes.
Yeah, he assures me that they don't get up on the fish tank, but we'll see what happens. And my dog. So, yeah.
How is the dog taking this, by the way, just parenthetically?
She's fine because it's one more person to love her.
Okay,
so
but I mean, but the cats and the fish are cool?
The cats haven't arrived yet. They're on their way. So the cats should be coming in about a week.
Speaking of encroaching on somebody's territory, I think.
Yeah. But we do have the fish tank in the middle of our living room because we have nowhere else to put it. So, it's just like our whole world has been turned upside down. And I'm wondering if I ever did that to my parents. I don't think I did. But I probably did. Because I did leave home and then I returned for a while.
Yeah.
That's
a popular sequence.
I went, when I went away to university, I'd come home every summer. But then after I graduated, I did come home for about 6 months until I found a job and moved out. So I wonder if I was as disruptive. I don't think I was. How about you guys? What's your story? Did you bail and never return?
Well, my parents moved the summer after I graduated from high school. And I basically didn't have my own room in the new house. And did I tell you this? I slept on the floor in my sister's room for the first summer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so my dad could have an office. And then, and then they built an addition onto the house, and so then there was an extra room, but mostly my grandmother got that if we were ever there at the same time. So, yeah, I mean, then I went to my freshman year of college, and I came back for maybe 2 summers, and that was it. And then I never came back after I graduated or anything.
Wow.
So I was out of there.
You were done.
You're done.
And I remember one summer that I did spend, it was during college, and I was at my mom's house because she had taken a job and moved, and my dad and my brother and sister were still back where they were in the previous house, and they were coming later, so it was just the two of us. And my mom was like, "Are you going to follow me around like a puppy?" Because I was like bored and lonely because I barely knew anybody. She would come home from work, and I would like literally just tag around after her. She's like, "Can I get some alone time?"
That's so funny. Oh, well, if it makes you feel any better, I mean, I didn't necessarily have a room to come back to either when I left because...
Right, because your parents moved away while you were in high school, didn't they?
Oh.
When you were in Australia.
Back in high school. Yeah, okay, so that's a whole other story because they did move while I was away in Australia, which has traumatized me. And, but even when I went to college, so we were in another house, and then I went to college or university and came back for the summer. So even though I had a room in their newer house for a year, when I went away, they decided that they needed a TV room. So it became the TV room. So I actually had to sleep on a pull-out couch in the TV room for 2 summers. So yeah, that wasn't
Sounds
fun either.
Familiar.
Yep. So we're trying to do right by Josh and giving him his own room. It may be
it's pink.
It's Kristen's old room, and it's pink, but it's a room. It has a bed. So
anyway. My parents had nothing but room for me, and I just threw it back in their face.
You're like, no, thank you.
I went away to college, and the first summer I came home for the summer, but the second summer I spent 2 months in Europe, and then just came home to try to lose the weight on the Scarsdale diet before school started again. And then the summer after that, I stayed in Santa Barbara where I was going to college. I stayed there and worked for the summer. And then after I graduated, I moved to Kansas City pretty much right away, and worked there for 1.5 years for Hallmark. At the end of which I'd kind of had a bad breakup, and I got to that point I get to in most jobs where I have a bunch of stuff on my desk I don't want to do, and I start to think, I could quit. So, and I was homesick. It was, Kansas City is quite a leap from Southern California. Mm-hmm. So all this I thought maybe I'd start a freelance business. So at that point I did in fact move home and had a nice little space in the back of the house where I had my old bedroom, and then I I turned my old bedroom into an office, and then I turned my dad's old office into a bedroom. See, it was reverse of your bedroom became an office. My dad's office became a bedroom. They were extremely accommodating.
Holy cow.
My mom could not have been more thrilled that I was there, and they tried really, really hard, but I'd had that taste of independence, and I wanted to watch what I wanted to watch on TV. So, sorry, Mom and Dad. As soon as I think we talked about this maybe last week, as soon as I got enough money going for freelancing, I rented an office out of the house, and then I switched to an apartment, and then I moved into the San Fernando Valley, a couple of different apartments there, and then I moved to New Jersey where I stayed. So. Wow. I briefly returned home to my luxurious apartment in the back of the house and threw it back.
You did. So. You gave it all up.
I was an ungrateful child.
Meanwhile, Catherine and I were sleeping on floors.
Yes, you would have been so jealous of me. You would have been grateful for that. You would have gone out and watched TV with them.
I would have.
Not me.
Yes, because I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. I'm like, Mom, you have to hang out with me.
Oh, my mother would have loved that so much.
I used to watch soap operas with the housekeeper.
That is so funny. I'm sorry. That is
She
sad.
didn't have enough to do either because she kind of came with the house and the job that my mom had, and it was just the two of us. She didn't.
Wow.
We weren't making enough of a mess to keep her busy.
That is so funny. Even Missy was complaining. Yeah, so well.
Missy's never leaving home. She'll never leave you.
You'll never get rid of her.
She heard us talking about cats.
She's actually truly.
What?
Her and my other dog, because they're the same. They were the same breed, Bela. They would leave home, and we would be like, "Yes, they're gone," and then they would return. They would show up at our front door because they'd get out of the gate, right? Not that we'd be like, not we weren't truly happy they were gone, but we would joke around like, "Yeah, we finally got rid of them." And then, of course, the next thing we know, we hear one of them scratching at the door. So no, they're we are stuck with them.
We just remembered where dinner is.
Right.
Let us in.
Right.
They know it.
Open up.
A good thing.
The ground is too hard to sleep on. My poor body.
Yes.
Okay, well, moving on. Remember that you can hear a new speed round every Wednesday through Friday. Hi, we hope you're enjoying this episode of Parenting Roundabout. We're not one of those podcasts that's trying to sell you websites or mattresses or meal kits. I mean, we totally would, but no one's asked us yet.
There is, however, something you can do that costs you nothing, but will put a little change in our pockets. Listen to our podcast on the Radio Public app. Download the app to your iPhone or Android device and listen to Parenting Roundabout there, and we'll get paid for each listen. Plus a little more if you listen a lot.
We think you'll enjoy listening to all your podcasts on this app, but if you could at least listen to Parenting Roundabout there, we'd be very grateful. Now, back to the episode.
And now we bring you some of the things that we've read or seen or used recently that we want to shout out and share with you. Should I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So this, I haven't quite used it yet, but I have high hopes. So I bought I don't know if you'd say Trtl, the Trtl neck pillow for traveling. So it looks like you're wearing like a turtleneck or a scarf around your neck, but it has like supports inside of it to hold up your chin when you're sleeping. So I brought that for my upcoming trip, and I'm hoping, because I've tried the horseshoe ones and no luck. They don't work for me. So, and I can't sleep on planes, and I'm going on an overnight flight, and I would really like to be able to get a little bit of sleep on that flight. So, so we'll see. I've heard good things about the Trtl funny looking pillow. So
yeah.
I think I'm going to be trying it out too.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to resort to trying it out. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. You know.
Anyway. Yeah.
And do you have something else to share, Nicole?
Not yet. No. Terri can go first.
I'll go next. It's unfortunately the thing I have to talk about is something that is going away, but I just want to give it a little hat tip on the way out. I've been very, very much enjoying the TV Avalanche podcast. It's like a highlight of my week to listen to Alan Sepinwall and Brian Grubb of Uprocks talk about TV shows I don't watch, but do it so entertainingly that it doesn't really matter. I was a big fan of Alan Sepinwall's first podcast, Firewall and Iceberg, that he did with Dan Feinberg, and I was very sad when that went away. And very happy when TV Avalanche came along, and now it's going away too, because Alan Sepinwall, Mr. Fancy Pants TV critic, is going to Rolling Stone. So, congratulations to Alan. I'm sure it's a very big career bump. I'm very happy for you. Give me a dang podcast. Come on, man. No more Ask Alan every week. No more TV Avalanche. I'm very sad. But, looking forward to see what he does next. And maybe Brian Grubb will find somebody else to podcast with, I hope, because he is very entertaining. So, wah wah. That's my sad
That's too bad.
roundabout item. Yeah. I'm going to miss it so much.
Speaking of shows going away, and I don't know why this one is going away, so I'm going to mention it as well because I really enjoyed it. And, it gets, pretty good ratings, too, is Last Man on Earth. I don't know if you ever saw that. It's on Fox.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that got canceled. That got canceled the same time Brooklyn Nine-Nine got canceled, but Nine-Nine got picked up by NBC.
Yeah, no, I was so sad because...
But not Last Man on Earth? Aww.
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny and quirky, and there were lots of good actors in there. The cast was kind of an ensemble of various actors, which was always fun to watch. And I don't know, it was just very light and kind of, you could watch it and not be stressed. And it was a nice, easy half an hour of your life. And it was funny.
Oh, well, this is a sad roundup.
Yeah, it is.
Other than a pillow.
Other than the wacky, stiff turtleneck.
Oh, well, maybe we'll have something happier to say about our own stuff. Now for our final segment, we're going to do a little shameless self-promotion and direct you to some things on our sites that we think you should take a look at. Nicole, do you have something for this?
Well, I don't know if I've mentioned my own website that I've created.
No.
In the past? Oh, yes. So
not the inclusive class, but something.
No. I did a side one, which is NicoleErudix.com. So it's basically more of a professional kind of a website, which kind of lists all the different things that I've done and, things that I can do, and directs you to different places such as Amazon.com, where my book Inclusion in Action is sold, in case you didn't know. So I'm shouting out that, and I'm also very happy to announce that in the next week or so, probably next week, we'll be giving a shout out to the new Parenting Roundabout podcast website. So yeah. So Nicole,
that would be nice to have.
NicoleErudix.com.
All right. Catherine, do you have something to share?
Well, I have a website for myself too, but you should not go there because it's really out of shape right now. So, I don't know. I don't have anything good right now. Anything new to report. I spent some time today with my editor at highlights going over stuff, but there isn't anything new right now.
Aww.
So you can just follow me on Instagram for pictures of the hedgehog that we are babysitting, which we'll discuss more next week. But my Instagram, I'm sure, will become hedgehog heavy in the next couple of months. That's C Haleko on Instagram.
I haven't really written anything this week either. I've been playing around a lot with trying to find a prettier and more useful home for my Mothers with Attitude website. And I've been playing around with the free trial on Squarespace, which if you listen to a podcast, you might be led to believe that Squarespace, you just kind of go, please make me a website. And there it is. Beautiful. No effort whatsoever. You just say, I'd like a website, please, and the magical Squarespace fairies put one together for you. I am finding it not to be that easy. It is making me feel very, very old. It is making me feel like my husband when he tries to do anything on the internet, and I have to go over and say, no, here's how you scroll up, here's how you scroll down, here's how you open something, honey. Anyway, so I'm playing around with that. I'm getting some things I kind of like, trying to figure things out, but I don't think it's going to be ready to share by the time this podcast drops, but I will once again whine very politely that people should go to my Patreon page and pledge a little bit so that I can afford, if I can figure out how to make this site look nice, that I can afford to actually launch it.
Yeah.
Have it up there every month. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Parenting Roundabout. We hope you enjoyed it and that you'll join us every week. You can listen to podcast episodes on Radio Public or download them from Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe so that you get all of our podcasts and mini podcasts.
You can also follow us on Twitter, where I am at Nicole Erdix, Catherine is at CHaleko, and Terri is at Momitude. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter at Roundabout Chat and look for us on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, YouTube, and Instagram too.
Best of all, stop by our podcast page at parentingroundabout.com and read recaps, find links on everything we've mentioned, and talk back in the comments. Thanks to John Morin at johnjmorin.com for providing our in and out music. And I wish everyone a great week.